What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Sorry I missed yesterday's upload schedule, I was a little busy with a lot of things going on, but we still have a shiny Hardcore Nuzlocke video for you guys today. So today's challenge we kind of beat Pokemon X Hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny dark type Pokemon only. Surprisingly, I haven't used this, and there's a lot of great dark type Pokemon with great shinies in X and Y. So I'm really excited to do this challenge as well. I'm working on some Sword and Shield videos. I'm trying to get the odds modified obviously for Sword and Shield so I could get them to you guys, but unfortunately my Sword and Shield emulator has been crashing on me a lot. So I'm actually not too sure when I'm gonna get Sword and Shield videos for you guys, but eventually I will do that. Anyways, let's run through the rules real quick of this challenge. So to begin off, it's gonna be a Hardcore Nuzlocke. You guys know the rules of that. I can only catch one Pokemon in each route, and they have to be specifically to the type and also shiny. So I have to go shiny hunting for my Pokemon specifically. As well, there's a level cap on the bottom left. That's gonna be the highest level at each gym fight. And also there's a death counter. Each of my Pokemon will only have one life. If they do faint, they are dead forever and I have to box them. I can't use them at all. As well, I have to play on set mode, so I can't switch out after beating an opponent Pokemon. I can't use items inside a battle besides hell items, of course. And that should do it for all the rules for right now, except my favorite rule: each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thank you so much for leaving a nickname in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge video, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down here, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And also, if you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Let's get into the challenge video itself. So to begin off, our first Pokemon is actually going to be a very cool Pokemon that I really enjoy. It's going to be a shiny Froakie. We're going to have to reset until we eventually get a shiny Froakie at the beginning of the game, and this is one of the longest cutscenes of all Pokemon to get a shiny started, but lucky enough we are playing on an emulator and it speeds up the emulation speed pretty fast, so it's actually not too bad. From there, I don't think there's a dark type Pokemon in any of the first few routes, so we're actually going to move on into the very first gym in the game. We're going to face off against Viola first. Viola is going to be the bug type gym leader in the game, and her level cap is at level 12, which is very low, so my Froakie is going to be in a bit of danger in this gym, because ironically the best starter for this gym is going to be a Chespin because it comes with rollout. But anyways, we're going to start the battle off against her Surskit using Quick Attack as my main move. Since Surskit is actually part water type, so my water gun would not do a lot of damage. And as well, I'm eventually able to knock out the Surskit, and then she's going to switch out into her Vivillon, which does a lot of damage to me. And lucky enough, it didn't go for an infestation. I was hoping it went for a harden, and lucky enough, it hits me down to 2 HP, activates my Torrent ability. I'm able to water gun and knock her down to low HP, which from there, I'm able to Quick Attack, outspeed her, and lucky enough, she didn't go for a harden. So I'm actually able to knock out the Vivillon, and we end up beating Viola with 2 HP on our Froakie. Now from there, we're going to evolve our Froakie into a Frogadier, and I never actually, there's no dark type cancel starter. I was never actually able to shiny hunt for these cancel starters. I know a lot of people told me how to in the comments, but I've tried every single method. I wasn't able to, but anyways, we're going to move on into Route 5. We're actually able to shiny hunt for our next Pokemon. Now ironically in here, Abra, which isn't the Pokemon we're shiny hunting, Panchim's the Pokemon we're shiny hunting, but in here I actually found 2 shiny Abras, which are 1% encounters each, before I found myself a shiny Panchim, which is crazy enough to say. But eventually we're going to find ourselves a Panchim added to our team, which is nice. Head out into Route 8 next. Route 8 is going to be a place where there's a lot of good dark type Pokemon that we could possibly catch. The first one is going to be an Absol, which I'm kind of hoping to get because I want to use Absol really badly, but unfortunately we get the second one, which isn't really unfortunately because the second one is in K and it's actually really good. I actually almost knock out my Frogadier, which is pretty bad, but we're able to catch it using my Panchim and add it to our team as our third Pokemon. And now it's continuing on, we head into Route 9, which is going to be the Rocky route, where you're able to find yourselves a Sandile, which is going to be ground and dark type, dual typing, and also very strong. And I didn't realize it till now that it actually didn't activate Intimidate and it has Moxie. I didn't realize it at all, so I'm able to capture it and just, you know, I'll have a surprise later on with the Sandile. I'm able to catch the Sandile and move out into Route 10 next. Now Route 10, we're shiny hunting a lot, obviously, but we're able to go out into Route 10. We could shiny hunt for 2 different Pokemon, Eevee and also a Houndour. Kind of want the Houndour. I've been shiny hunting Eevee so many times that I actually rather have a Houndour, and lucky enough we do find one. Added to our team, nice looking Houndour. Houndoom and Houndour always reminds me of Platinum because that's my go-to fire type in that game, because I will always use Torterra. Ironically, I didn't use Infernape, which is I think the best fire type in the game. Anyways, from there, we're going to face up against Grant next. Grant is going to be the second gym leader in the game, and also the rock type gym leader that has a very high level cap at 25 for a second gym. I don't know why they thought that was a great idea, but I'm going to start the battle off against him using my Panchim, which is going to circle throw into the Amora and one-shot it after getting Thunder Wave. And then his next Pokemon will be a Tyrant. I do get stomped on. The Paralyze is really hurting my Pancham. I'm eventually able to finally go for a Circle Throw. It doesn't knock out the Tyrant, so I gotta switch out into my Frogadier, which is able to survive a few hits, also outspeed a Tyrant. I made a Water Pulse into him, two-shot him looks like, get a nice crit on him, and then eventually knock out the Tyrant, and we end up beating Grants for a second gym badge. Actually panicking a little bit against Serena here at Chaleur City. Chaleur City is gonna be place of the third gym, and you gotta fight against your rival before you face off against the gym leader. And unfortunately, I don't know why, all my Pokemon have terrible moves, but lucky enough we end up beating her, and then we're able to evolve my Inkay into a Malamar, which I had to do this little trick on Citro where you right click and then just move your mouse up. I don't know how that evolves my Malamar. From there we're gonna face off against Karina next. Karina is going to be the fighting type gym leader in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against her using, you know, my newly formed Malamar. Now Malamar is actually part Psychic and Dark type, which is a unique typing. I'm able to go for a Side Beam. Kind of unfortunate because Malamar is a physical attacker, but I'm going for a Side Beam, two shots into the Minfuel and knocks him out. Also wastes all Karina's Hyper Potion, which is really nice. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Hawlucha, which I'm able to go for a Side Beam. Almost one-shot her as I'm able to survive multiple Flying Press, and I'm able to knock out the Hawlucha. Her next Pokemon will be a Machoke, which I stayed in for some reason. And lucky enough, I survive a Rock Tomb easily, get my speed up because I have Contrary, and I'm able to Side Beam and knock her out. Contrary is very fun to have, especially on a Superior with Leaf Storm. Oh, that thing is a monster, a menace. From there, we're going to actually go into the next gym very quickly, as there's not much for us to do at all. So we're going to face off against Ramos next. Ramos is going to be the grass type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Houndoom, which has fire moves. Yeah, it's great, but it's kind of more of a special attacker, so it's not that great right now. I'm able to two-shot into the jump up using Fire Fang. And then his next Pokemon is going to be a Go-Go. I'm able to go for a Fire Fang as it goes for Bodos. And then I'm going to switch out into my Pangoro. My Pangoro is my Pancham finally evolved. I'm able to Power Punch into the Go-Go to knock him out. And then his next Pokemon, his last Pokemon, will be a Weeping Bow. I didn't want to switch out into anyone else as I switched out into my Houndoom. And I was pretty convinced Houndoom's Fire Fang will knock him out. And if it doesn't, well, I'll just disown my Houndoom. But I'm able to knock out the Weeping Bow, end up knocking out Ramos, and end up getting my 4th gym badge in the game pretty easily. From there, we're going to go out into the Team Flare hideout in the desert. And finally, my Pokemon are starting to evolve. As you can see, the level cap has jumped up to 37. I'm able to evolve my Greninja, which kind of the reason why I want to do this hardcore Nuzlocke typing, because, you know, Greninja is so cool, and I've been using Greninja a lot in my recent games, and it's just a cool shiny to have. We're gonna clear through this portion of the game, which is kind of difficult. You have to turn off the XP share so you don't get over level, and then go back to Lumio City, get the Bodos TM, also Swords Dance TM if you want, and then face off against the gym leader next. We're gonna face off against Clement next. Clement is an electric type gym leader in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against him using my Crocorock. I think this shiny is very ugly. It kind of grew on me. It's an ugly shiny, we all know that, but it's kind of ugly cool. As we're able to knock out the Mocha, and then we're going to face off against his Heliolisk next. We're able to Bodos into the Heliolisk, one-shot it, and then his next Pokemon will be a Magneton. And my ugly Crocorock's able to two-shot into the Magneton as it's unable to knock me out. And we're able to beat down Clement. So we cleared through Clement pretty easily, and now we're going to move out into Route 14. Here we're going to Shiny Hunt for our next Pokemon, but I also want to show off that this is where I recognize I did have Moxie as an ability. It took me that long to really recognize. I was in the gym using Crocorock, but I didn't realize he had Moxie because, you know, it's an electric type gym. I wasn't really paying attention with my ground type. I'm able to realize I have Moxie as an ability finally. And if from here, the most insane amount of luck, I spawned myself in 99 honey, so I could go horde encounter for a Skorupi easier. I used all 99 and then had to reset until I finally found myself a horde shiny Skorupi, which is insane to me. How did it take that long? Am I playing on actual, am I playing on the actual odds? Like the actual odds in the game? There's no way it should take this long. I don't know if you want to call this full odds or not, but we found ourselves a shiny Skorupi out of all that. And we're going to add it to our team. We're going to face off against Valerie next, the 6th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my new ugly shiny Crocodile. I'm able to go for a Bodos, one-shot the Mawile. And then from there, she's going to switch out into her Mr. Mime. I'm able to crunch one-shot the Mr. Mime. Her next Pokemon will be a Sylveon. I'm kind of scared that its Dazzling might kill my Crocodile, even though I have a +2. I'm gonna go out into my Drapion next, which is able to do a lot of damage to him. This battle gets drained out a little bit because it keeps using Charm and keeps healing up the Sylveon, but I'm able to eventually poison it down and then switch out into my Malamar for no reason, and then go out to my Houndoom. This is a lot of wasting time, but eventually Houndoom is able to knock out the Sylveon, and we end up getting our 6th gym badge in the game. From there, we're gonna move on and face off against this team player member that almost actually knocks out my Crocodile. So lucky enough, we're able to beat him down, but that could have got really bad. My Crocodile gets always put in the worst positions possible. But from there, we're going to move on and face off against Olympia next. Olympia is going to be the Psychic type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against Olympia using my Drapion. And Drapion is going to take no prisoners. Night Slash immediately into the Sigilyph. Knock him out with one shot. 2 shots into the Slowking. Even though it's going to put me to sleep, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to switch out to my Greninja. Even though Greninja has no moves to be useful, I'm going to switch back into my Drapion. And then I get drowsy again. You know what? I say I'm going to stay in because it says no one else wants to take a hit from it. I'm going to go for a Night Slash. Knock out the Slowking. She's gonna switch out into a Meowstic next. I wake up immediately and then Night Slash 2 shots into her and knock her out as we're able to beat down Olympia and get Crunch. This is pretty nice. We're gonna get Crunch Extra Sensory. There's a lot of great moves going on over there. We're gonna beat down Olympia and get the 7th gym badge in the game and move out into the team player hideout. Crocodile is going to sweep down everyone with just Moxie, as you can see. It got way too high for its level, which I'm not complaining. But from there, we're gonna go out, catch yourselves of the legendary Xerneas, which is really nice. We're not going to add it to our team, but I think Xerneas is actually arguably one of the best legendary Pokemon ever. And then from there, we're going to face off against Lysander next. Lysander is going to be the Team Flare head boss. The final battle against the Evo team. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Crocodile, which I kind of forgot that he used Mienshao. So I'm just going to hope that I outspeed him. And looking enough, I am quite higher level than him, so I'm able to outspeed him. Earthquake into the Mienshao, get the Moxie boost, and that should be the end of battles, as I'm able to Earthquake into the Pyroar, one-shot him. +2 now, I'm able to go for a Rock Tomb to knock out the Honchkrow in one shot. +3, he's gonna send out his Gyarados, which is gonna be a -1. I'm still +2. I'm a bit higher level than him too, as I'm able to Earthquake into him and one-shot him, so I'm able to beat down Lysander pretty easily. It could have got a little ropey, but I mean, it's fine. I mean, glad I'm over level for that portion. From there, we're gonna beat down my friends, which I think is a bad idea. I think you guys could just congratulate me instead of trying to beat me on the bridge. Anyways, from there, we're going to face off against Wolfric next. Wolfric's the final gym leader in the game, and I don't like him at all. So, we're going to start the battle off against him using my Houndoom. Finally, I have Flamethrower, as I'm able to Flamethrower into the Abomasnow and knock him out in one shot. And then from there, he's going to switch out into his Cryogonal, which I'm able to go for Flamethrower. Unfortunately, it always happens with Wolfric. He decides to confuse ray me and then freeze my fire type, so my fire type can't actually do anything in this battle against ice types. I decided to go out to my Pangoro, which is going to one-shot into the Cryogonal, and then I decided to go out to my Greninja against his Avlok. Since Avlok has no special defense at all, I'm going to go for a Surf and knock him out pretty easily. And from there, we're going to face off against Serena once again at Victory Road, which my Malamar is going to sweep her down pretty easily. As you can see, I don't want to learn Hydro Pump because not a great move at the moment. From there, we're going to beat down Serena and head into the Elite Four next. We're going to head into the Kalos League. We're going to start our Elite Four challenge off against Malva. Malva is going to be the Fire type Elite Four member, and you know how this goes. Whenever I have a Greninja against Malva, it goes in like a whole 1 minute. Actually, I'm looking at the recording session, 25 seconds to beat Malva. So we're going to start the battle off against her Pyroar using my Greninja to Surf. One shot down a Pyroar, and then her next Pokemon will be a Talonflame. I outspeed, Surf to knock her out in one shot. And guess what happens now? Torkoal comes out, it has no special defense, Surf to knock him out to one shot. Her final Pokemon will be a Chandelure, which surprisingly, I could have gone for a Dark Pose, but I decided to go for a Surf. With a C instance boosted, it's going to one-shot her entire team, as we're able to beat down Malva in 25 seconds. So, yeah, moving on, we're going to face off against Wikstrom next. Wikstrom is going to be the Steel-type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Crocodile, which is going for an Earthquake immediately against the Klefki to one-shot it. Get my Moxie boost. Aegislash decides to test me out. I'm an Earthquake through Shield mode, one-shot him to the face. His next Pokemon will be a Scizor. I go for an Earthquake again. It's +2. It's going to one-shot down him. And then his next Pokemon and his final Pokemon will be a Probopass. I didn't realize this. I actually leveled my Pokemon up to 63 instead of 65. Since the level cap is at 65 where I can enter, but it didn't matter apparently, as I'm able to sweep down the first 2 Elite Four members pretty easily, as we end up beating down Wikstrom. And now we're gonna move on and face off against Drasna next. Drasna is gonna be the Dragon type Elite Four member of the game. We're gonna start the battle off against her using my Houndoom for some reason. I do have Nasty Plot and Dark Pulse, which I decided to go for a Nasty Plot first. It hits me with a Surf. It doesn't do too much with a Surf, as I'm able to go for a Dark Pulse against her. She goes for a Surf again. I go down to low HP, but at least I take a KO with my Houndoom, as we're able to knock out the Dragolich. Her next Pokemon will be a Druddigon, which I know it has Revenge and everything, so I go out to my Pangoro. I think this was a bad idea. I couldn't really do anything to her, so I decided to switch out into my Malamar. Since if I did go for a move and it lives, which most likely it will live with my Pangoro, it's going to knock me out with a Revenge. So I go out into my Malamar. I do some damage as it can Dragon Tail me back out to my Pangoro. should have switched out to my Greninja at some point, but it's also weak to revenge, so I don't know. I eventually got him down to low HP with my Drapion, and then I go out into my Malamar next. I'm able to superpower into him and then hypnosis him. Finally get a free switch into my Greninja, which I'm able to Ice Beam, knock out the Druddigon, which that should be the end of the battle, as my Greninja is able to outspeed everything. Ice Beam into the Altara to one-shot as well, since it's 4 times weak, and our final Pokemon will be a Noverin, which is going to get one-shotted in his face, as we beat down Drasna pretty easily. Well, pretty easily, as the Druddigon gave me a bit of scare, but you know, it's good. From there, we're going to face off against Siebold next. Siebold's going to be the Water type Elite 4 member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Malamar. Finally using Malamar. The last time I had Malamar, I wasn't able to use him at all, and I'm pretty sure it went down. I'm not too sure. Anyways, we're gonna start the battle off against the Clawitzer using my Malamar hypnosis into him, and then you know how it goes. Superpower into the Clawitzer to get a boost up. He's eventually gonna wake up. Water Post me doesn't get a confusion, as I'm able to land a second hypnosis. I should have bought a lottery ticket with that. 2 hypnosis in a row. Superpower to knock out the Clawitzer, which kind of, you know, makes the hypnosis irrelevant, but I'm able to knock him out, get +2, and then he's gonna switch out into his Barbarical, which I'm able to superpower, one-shot him pretty easily. Get another boost as he switched out into a Starmie. I'm able to survive a Dazzling Gleam, which I did not realize he had. I'm gonna survive it, get my Citrus Berry up, Night Slash to one-shot the Starmie. So that could have been pretty bad. He then switched out into his Gyarados. It does have Intimidate, and it actually ups my attacks, so I'm able to go for a Night Slash, outspeed him, and one-shot him with a Night Slash. Insane plays. Pretty bad play against the Starmie, but I'm able to survive and beat down Siebold. Now we face off against the champion of the game. We're going to face off against Diantha next. Diantha is the league champion. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Malamar. I realized I didn't have any ethers or elixirs because I didn't go for rock smashing at all. So I don't have any ethers or elixirs, so I can't actually heal up my PP for my Malamar. And I take an Exeter immediately from the Hawlucha, which, I mean, kind of good thing. I probably would have went for Hypnosis and probably missed and then put myself in a bad position. But we take the KO with a Cycle Cut against the Hawlucha. And then from there, she switched out to her Tyrantrum, which now I realize I should have had Superpower, as I'm actually not able to really switch into this pretty well. I switch out to my Greninja, take a Head Smash. Not well at all. But from the recoil damage, I'm able to comfortably go for an Ice Beam and knock out the Tyrantrum. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Guja, which I had no answer for as well. So I decided to go out into my Drapion. Lucky enough, Drapion is able to go for a Cross Poison, get a Poison on it, and then go for a Home Claws, eventually knocking out the Guja with a +1, which is nice. And then from there, she can switch out to her Aurorus, which I'm able to go for a Crunch. She then goes for a Reflect. Of course she does. So now my attacks can get a lot weaker. I'm able to go for a Crunch again, lowers defense. But unfortunately, it's going to go for a heal up. I decided, since I do so much damage with this defense drop, I decided to stay in, crunch into him, and didn't knock him out, which is very, very unlucky. Lucky enough, it went for a Thunder and missed. So yeah, we'll take that. Crunch to eventually knock her out, as the Reflex can go down, and then I could comfortably knock her out. So that was a little risky play, especially since I have 0 deaths. That could have actually messed up my flawless run, and I didn't actually want to mess it up, as I realized that was a bad idea. I go out to my Houndoom next. I get a nasty plot off against the Gourgeist. I'm able to go for a Dark Pulse to knock out the Gourgeist, and her final Pokemon will be a Gardevoir, which is going to choose my Flash Fire, which is not nice, but I do have Dark Pulse, as I'm able to 2-shot into the Gardevoir, and I also outspeed him. I'm actually able to knock out the Gardevoir and end up beating the Pokemon League and the entire game of Pokemon X without a single death on my death counter. So a flawless run of Pokemon X, you don't see that a lot. I'm actually surprised I actually beat through Pokemon X without a death. Normally I do some stupid mistake and we end up losing a Pokemon, but lucky enough we do beat Pokemon X. We face off against AZ. We're obviously not going to lose to AZ, of course, so that will be the end of the video. You guys can watch me beat AZ, but this will be the outro. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and yeah, leave some nicknames and some challenge ideas down below. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name is Malva. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.